Welcome to the Past Lives Cafe. I am your host, Chione, an intuitive energy worker and acclaimed past life regressionist. Come with me as we journey through the spiral of time to forgotten places. Hello, everyone. We have Ed Simon with us. I was so fortunate to meet him, probably about 6, 7 months ago. We were actually across from each other at Winterfest, which is one of the metaphysical festivals held by Patty Hawes in Timonium, Maryland. And Ed Simon's table was across from mine. And I just loved the signage he had called I Am the Seer. And my sister walked over because whenever she is my helper at these festivals, she spends her time sitting with all of the various practitioners instead of helping me. But she made a beeline over to talk with Ed and came back and said that he was absolutely amazing. She thought that he was possibly one of the most gifted psychic mediums that she had ever met with. And he and I have become friends since then. I am so honored that he has chosen to come on to this podcast. We both shared some visions with each other that we had had about each other's past lives. But I think before we jump into discussing his amazing abilities, I would love to hear, Ed, about how you started your spiritual journey, knowing that you had psychic and mediumship and past life visions. Was this something you had always done, even as a child?
No, never done it before.
Really?
Yes. Never done it for up until like maybe about 18 years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Did it just spontaneously happen, or what happened?
The first time I did it, I saw my grandmother and grandfather. It was like a dream, but it wasn't really a dream. I saw them in the movie theater with all my other aunts and uncles and cousins, and they were all in the first and second rows. And beyond that, I saw some other people that I didn't know, but I felt like they knew me. That was really kind of wild. I had those dreams, and that was when I was going through a bad time in my life when I was married. And my aunt and uncle, my grandmother and grandfather came and saw me, and it was like they were trying to tell me what you have to do to get out of this marriage. It blew my mind. It's so amazing.
So, when you saw your family members, were you sleeping?
Yes, I was sleeping and I woke up, and I was still married at the time, and I woke up my wife, and I said, I just saw my grandmother and grandfather and my aunts and uncles who passed away, and they were all in the first and second row, and they were like all angels and looked like they never died because they were so vivid.
They came
Yeah,
at a period of time when you needed guidance on
yeah,
how to navigate a rough marriage. And you and I had talked about how you needed to get out of that for
yeah.
your safety. And so they came to you during that period, but you had never really had a connection like that before.
No,
Isn't that interesting? How many times do we hear that, Ed, that people who are just in a difficult period of their lives, for whatever reason, it opens them up
yep.
to receiving?
Because I've seen that before. When I do my readings, that happens a lot. They never were spiritual until something happened critical in their lives, or some kind of tragedy. And then if something happens to them, and then you just see it. And some people never see it. It's probably not the right time to see it, but it was my time to see it. And
Right.
this is who I am right now. I never even I never believed in this until about 18 years ago.
That's amazing. Do you think that your ancestors or angels had always been around you and you just, like you said, it just wasn't the right time to hear them yet? Or do you think for whatever reason communication was established then?
I think it was just that time.
They were always there, and it was
Yeah,
just your time to tune in.
right. Uh-huh. It was that time.
When she went to see you, my sister, when we were at that festival together,
Mhm.
she came back and said he picked up on medical issues with me. He
Mhm.
picked up on marriage, like patterns that she had
Yeah,
had in her marriage, intestinal, other medical type things going on. When you're receiving that information, do you see it? Do you feel it? Do you hear it?
all of it. I hear it and see it and feel it. I get it from the angels.
You get it from the angels.
I get it from my guides. I can hear voices in my head when I do my readings. I can hear it all.
There's this whole other realm available
Right. Uh-huh.
to share information. And then, not to get into detail, but did what your ancestors share with you help you navigate out of your marriage to safety?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Perfect.
It was really hard. It took a while. It's like she took me to court all the time. I mean, because of crazy, stupid things.
Are you the only one in your family that you're aware of that has these abilities or has tapped into these abilities?
Just me. Not my mom, not my dad, not my sister, not my brothers. It just happens. It was like they wanted me to do this. They wanted me to help people. They wanted me to get to work and just help people out and just feel it and see it. Everything that comes in. I have a huge spiritual light. I had a mentor that helped me out too, because I saw all kinds of weird things when I started out. I saw dead people coming through my house, and they kept me up for 2, 3 hours a night. When I tell my clients, when they have that problem, do you have spirits coming through your room? And they said, yes. They come through the bedroom and they go to the front door, and that's where the light's at most of the time. And you take them to the light. But sometimes if you don't do what I say, then it's going to take a long time. When you see spirits that don't want to leave, you need to tell them to go to the other side.
Since they're able to know that you're able to see and hear them, this is your opportunity to help them understand, hey, you've passed and there is a place for you
Yes.
waiting for you.
Mhm.
I
Up
love
in
that.
heaven.
I love
Mhm.
that. I had told you, Ed, that I see animals come into my
Mhm.
room.
Yeah.
Yeah, in my bedroom. They're spirit animals. And you said, yeah, I can see that. And they're not exactly the warm and fuzzy spirit animals,
No, they're
but they
not.
don't scare me. In fact, there's a huge spider that comes from my ceiling.
Big. It's real big. I can see that. It's real big and it has a big, big string that comes down and just
Yes.
stays there and looks at you.
And looks and hovers in
And,
front of
and,
my
and
face.
this thing is like maybe about 25 feet across.
It's she started out really big. She's gotten smaller, but let me tell you, when it's in front of your face, it looks huge.
I can see that. I can feel it.
Yes, there's a bat that flies through.
Yeah, no, there are actually more than one bat. There's actually maybe 6 bats.
Really?
Yeah, uh-huh.
There's also a bee or a hummingbird. I'm not sure.
It's
I
a
get
boat.
that it's both. I've had a crab walk along my wall, and there's also been a spinning blue and white and
Uh-huh.
silver box that looked like a Rubik's cube that spins in my room. Never knew what these things were. I kept thinking, why can't I see spirit people like everybody else?
I don't think you're ready to see that yet. Yeah, your time will come soon.
Oh, I'm seeing these animals and
Animal spirits.
yeah. And yeah, and they don't scare me, like I said,
Mhm.
especially that big spider. She comes to me quite often, and I talk to her. At first, I didn't know what to do with her. Imagine seeing a huge spider, you're kind of like,
Uh-huh.
whoa, it just jars you. And then I thought maybe I was like a bug professor in my past life.
It might have been, yeah.
But one of the things that you told me, and then I want to shift the conversation into your amazing ability to see past lives. But one of the things you told me was that my third eye is constantly going like this,
Yes, flip.
opens and closes and opens and
Yes,
closes. And you say sometimes it's as big as the room,
yeah,
and other times it's like
it
clamp
closes.
shut. Yeah. And
Yeah,
you told me that I needed to meditate and learn how to keep it open in a manageable way
yeah,
so that it's not just, but that it's open.
right.
Um, and so the thing I never got to ask you about that was when I'm meditating, often I go to a place where there's no sound, there's no talking. It's
Yeah,
a void, right? So a lot of people have the chatter problem.
uh,
I can easily get past that, but I'm in a nowhere space. How will that help me keep my third eye open? Is what I'm wondering.
oh,
Or maybe that's what the third eye space is
yeah,
that
that's just
there.
go down and go under, just completely go under. But when I meditate, I just go completely under. I see faces, I see people, I see birds, I see animals. You're going to see that one of these days.
Okay. Ed is Jewish by culture and birth. And so, Ed, I wanted to ask you what your family with a Jewish culture and religious background feels about your abilities and your sharing your talents with others. Is
They
there a
don't even know,
religious conflict?
they don't even know about it.
Do you think they would have concerns?
They probably think I'm crazy.
Oh,
My sister knows about it.
how does she know? Did you talk to her about
Yeah,
it?
I talked to her about it. She had a reading with a friend of mine a long time ago. But I said, don't tell nobody because they won't believe it. I keep myself under wraps when I come back home to Pittsburgh. And there's a couple friends that know what I can do, maybe about three or four. I can't tell my parents, but they passed away about 5 or 6 years ago.
They transitioned without knowing at that time that you had
Right,
this ability.
right.
Do you talk to them often now that they're on the other side?
Not my dad, maybe my mom sometimes. And maybe my mom and some other people that I know because I feel like they're around me and my roommate sometimes too. Yeah, because I see my roommate's mom and father and her cousins. I see them too.
Nice.
Hmm.
A couple of years ago, I was able to look at people and I would see where the animals I see in my room are with my physical eyes. I see them flying through, I see them coming down, I see them, right?
Hmm.
Just like looking around. But a couple of years ago, if I was quiet enough, I would be able to see almost like a movie clip and see things happening. And one of the things I saw with Ed was that he used to be a scholarly rabbi, and I saw him standing with the prayer shawl around him and one of the old wider brimmed hats, and he was praying at the Wailing Wall. And you said that you believed that was something that you had been in a past life, which was a rabbinic
Yeah,
uh, figure. So, why do you think people are able to see these things? Why was I able to see that with you?
because we had a connection. It was like a connection that you saw what I can see, like you being a nun.
Right.
Uh,
Ed saw me in a past life as being, I think it was Catholic
yeah,
nun, right?
yeah. You're also Queen Victoria too.
Oh boy.
Look at a picture when you have time. There's a resemblance here. I can see through everybody. I can see through beyond their face, beyond
Mhm.
the universe. I can see for millions of years and see where we've been.
So, why is it important for me to see that about you? Why is it important for some people to have that vision of what someone's past life is?
Well, because they want to know where they've been in different places, what kind of past life they've been. I've talked to people that have been in 100, 1,000 past lives, 100 past lives. You've been in too many. You've been in a lot of past lives. At last count, I count at least three, 400 rap past lives already.
So,
You,
that's
you,
an old soul.
yeah, you've been a very old soul.
But I feel like since I see your past life
Mm-hmm.
as this rabbinic figure, very devout, then we started talking
Yeah.
about Judaism, and I shared that my husband was Jewish, and you shared that you were Jewish, and we all had this discussion about
Mhm.
religions and things, and how angels don't care what religion you are, and there's
Yeah.
just spiritual energy in the divine.
And your
But
grandmother says hi. Your grandmother says hi, your mom's side.
she always says hi to me.
Yeah,
Hi.
I know.
She hangs out with me. She used to hang out with me when I would play the piano, I was told.
Yeah, you were pretty good back in the 1700s.
I was?
Yeah, when you played the piano, you knew Napoleon.
Ah, must be why I'm short. Okay, so Ed, why do you think when I see a past life,
Mhm.
I don't see a zillion for you, but what I
Uh-huh.
do see for you is that one past life, like I was mentioning at the Wailing Wall, saying your prayers. And then what I feel for you is what your soul signature is. And maybe that's why I see that specific past life. But I feel like your soul signature is to transcend religion and to share messages of healing and to bridge different religions, as in, you can come from the Judeo side of things,
Mhm.
but also bring the mysteries to people. I feel
Right.
like that's your soul signature and has been a thread throughout time.
Hmm.
So, why is it important for me to share that with people?
When I do readings, people want to know where they've been sometimes. And sometimes I might see them when I do a reading, maybe about 20 or 30 past lives. Then if they give me a call, I might see another 100 past lives or maybe 200 past lives. And you get some people that don't believe in it in past lives. And those are the hard people. You try to tell them and you try to understand that's where you've been. And when you die and come back to life, being reincarnated. You could be an animal, you could be any kind of animal, you could be like a fish and being reincarnated.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, you don't have to be a person all the time. You could be an alien in your past lives.
Do you see a lot of people who do have other worldly galaxy type of energies, not just Earth plane?
Good question. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they hide their truth of who they really are. And those are people you have to watch out for because you don't know who they are and what they are. They just hide themselves as a mysterious person. And when they're mysterious like that, they're not truly who they are. There's a darkness around them.
I was going to ask you that. I'm not sure that I believe that evil, as in demons, exist. Let me explain why first, and then we'll get your perspective on it. I have never been approached by a demon. I don't intend to be approached by a demon. And that's the energy I think I put out,
Mm-hmm.
which is I see light, I see goodness, I see potential, I see opportunity, I see the unity. And I understand that there are heavier energies
Mm-hmm.
and lighter energies, but I believe that the way we interpret them may look demonic
Mm-hmm.
and look angelic. Those are our lens seeing it that way. And because I don't see demons, I don't believe in it. Therefore, if I feel heavier energy, I don't jump to the idea that's a demon talking to me or that I have demonic energy around me.
Mhm.
What's your perspective?
When I do my readings, I see when people come up to me, I can see the darkness in them. When someone wants a reading and I feel like want my energy, I put a big, huge wall around me. You can see the darkness following them. I don't tell them I can't do the reading because you're dark. I just do it, but I'm covered in all kinds of light. I'm covered with a brick wall that is so thick that nothing can get through. And if it tries
Mhm.
to get through, it builds the wall up back up again and makes it even thicker. And when people walk around at the festivals, I see this person isn't good, or they have someone following them, like a demon or like a darkness around them. That's why I have a wall around me and light around me. There's the angels watching over me, and there's also God watching over me too, to make sure I'm making the right move.
You're essentially saying you see a darkness, which is like a heavier energy
Right. Mm-hmm.
around them.
Mm-hmm. But when I read you, when I ask the person I'm going to read you, I'm going to try to get this darkness away from you and I'll give you protection. But within a couple of days, that protection will come down. But you have to build your own wall. And they asked me how you build your own wall. I said, the only way to build your own wall, several ways you can do it. You can ask the angels and guides. You can pray on it. You can meditate on it. And the more you meditate, the wall gets thicker and thicker and thicker and thicker. And that's where your protection comes from. And if they wake you up at night, you can put a wall around your bedroom. When I first started out, they woke me up by shaking the bed sometimes. It took me a while to get them out of my house with my mentor I had. She
Mhm.
helped me out. And then I had Patty Hauser, who was the best person in the whole world. She got me started doing this stuff. And so I actually had like a couple mentors. But but
Absolutely.
my first mentor, she helped me out for a long period of time, and I'm ever grateful for that.
So you essentially build a energetic field
Yeah,
around yourself and you reinforce that with love, with light, and that allows you to not only control the communication time that you want to have with spirit, but also for any spirits that are looking for energy that you don't want to give.
yeah,
It helps protect that too. Have you ever seen someone who has brought heavy energy throughout past lives to their current time?
yeah. A few times
Tell me what one or two of those were like.
they were hard. It's real thick and darkness. It's like darkness. You can cut it with a knife, and every time you try to cut it with a knife, there's more darkness that comes in. And those are people really hard to help because they've been through so much sadness and darkness and so much betrayal and so much hatred of people that they build themselves a black wall around them.
I was
And
just going to ask you about that because it sounds to me like when things travel with you, it's depression, it's grief, it's
yeah,
anger, it's
right.
hatred, it's
Mhm.
all those things that build darkness around us.
And some people never had a good life and they feel like there's something's wrong, but they need help. There's sometimes I can't help people because they want help, but they don't want help. When you want some help, and the person said maybe yes. But in the meantime, I can feel that they don't want help, that they can't get out of the darkness. Sometimes I refer them to a couple of friends of mine that can help them with that because their darkness is real thick.
One of the things I have learned in doing past life regressions and working with people during the healing process, and I think you just said it perfectly, Ed, was that not everybody is ready to give up that part of their identity.
Mm-hmm.
They have absorbed it to the point where I am Emily. I am sad. this is who I am. And nothing is going to help Emily shed that veil of sadness from
Right.
around her. You can tell her how to do it. You can help her break free from the chains of this grief and heaviness she has around her, but she's wears it like a mantle
Yeah. It's like a heavy chain.
around
And
her. Yes.
yeah, and she's been like this or he's been like that ever since they were kids because they've been through so much abuse, emotional abuse, physical abuse, spiritual abuse
Yes.
by someone that they thought they could help, but then they were dark too at the
Yep.
same time. And you try to find some good in them. There's maybe a little bit of good in them that you can see, but sometimes they try to work at the person and make the light bigger and bigger and bigger until the darkness goes away. And that could take weeks or months. They have to do it themselves. I can start the initiation,
Right.
I can start the process, but to the time where they have to do it themselves.
Yep.
And
Absolutely.
I can't do it myself all the time. I can help people that are in the light all the time or just beginning to be in the light. There's some darkness, but they've been through a tough thing and they've been praying and praying. And some people say that they come and see me because they heard so much about me or because they can feel my energy.
It was funny. I think I might have started telling you this, and then I think you had a customer walk up. But when we were at the last Karma Fest,
Mhm.
I was walking towards the food court area, and there was a young woman walking past me. And she said, I'm trying to find Ed. Where is Ed? And I had actually sent her to you when we were at the Winter Festival, at the Solstice
Uh-huh.
Festival. And I had recommended that she talk with you. And it was funny that I'm seeing her walk up the pathway as I'm heading to the food court. And she sees me and she says, Where's Ed? Like we've known each other all of our lives. And I said, Oh, he's across from me again. So I sent her up to see you at the barn, which was awesome. And I love that barn. I like the energy of the barn.
There's so much happening around that barn.
Yeah. There is a lot of people feel the heaviness. I very rarely feel heaviness. I feel magic. I don't know, maybe I'm on this frequency and everybody else has a bigger bandwidth than me. I don't know. But where there are animals and things like that happen, I come from the Gettysburg area. Whenever I crossed this specific plane into Gettysburg, I felt magic. I don't know why. I don't know what it is because I know so many people lost their lives and
Yeah.
there's heaviness on that battlefield. I know this
You've been on the battlefield?
many times.
Yeah, I've been on
Many.
the battlefield a few times myself. I mean, when you walk the battlefield, you can hear the dead.
There was one part of the battlefield where the stream would just run red with blood, and a lot of people that feels dense and heavy and
Yeah,
horrible.
I
People are
know where
being
it
killed.
is. And there's a bridge there. You cross this bridge, and you look down, you can see the blood flowing down.
How
And
does that make you feel when you see that? Because that is definitely from the past.
well, I also see bodies too going down. So it made me feel like sad and sick and happy. And it makes me feel like I'm here in Gettysburg to watch all this stuff that people don't see. Very few people see it. Very few people see what I can see when I go to Gettysburg. I have a friend of mine when she goes to Gettysburg that she can't go on the battlefield. She has to get off the battlefield quick as possible. And then it's too much for her. And
Yeah.
then it's too emotional. And I took her to the battlefield and she said, I can only go to the edge of the battlefield. And I can't go to the middle. I can't go to the side. I can just go to maybe the first few steps on the battlefield, and that's as far as I can go.
As you were talking, Ed,
Yeah.
I could see certain parts of Gettysburg in my mind. I know that place. I grew up there, so I can see that place front and backward. And I just realized why I feel that place is magical. It's because of the historical buildings
Mm-hmm.
and the history of that area. Whenever I'm in a place that takes me back to another time, I feel the magical energy of the past.
The best place to go when you feel what's going on is go to below Round Top and
Yes. And Devil's
then
Den. Yep.
Devil's Den.
Yep.
And what I used to do is go down to that battlefield, and I like to go there one of these days and just go down that open field, and you can just feel the gunfire. You can just feel the carnage that happened on the Confederate side and North side. That they had a lot of casualties, but not as much as the Confederates did, because they were looking down at them, and that was devastating.
Tactical error that
Yeah,
cost them. Yes.
and every good general makes a mistake, like Napoleon
Yep.
and like Patton
Yep.
and like Caesar.
I was recently at the battlefield in Belgium, and then
Hmm.
not too far away, and that was obviously World War II. And then not too far away from there, I saw Patton's grave. Of course, he wasn't killed during the war. He
Yeah,
died just in a normal car accident. Not that
yeah,
that's a good thing. But I do feel in cemeteries, I feel the grief. I feel the heaviness, but I think that's from the people around me,
yes.
not seeing back to what has happened. But I wanted to ask you, Ed, if you'd ever witnessed healing from someone whose past life you've read that gave them
Hmm.
healing that they needed to continue on in their lives. And the example that I have is I had a client who had never liked to have anything around her neck, and then eventually saw in a regression that she had been hanged in the past. She was able to understand why, and then that fear of having something around her neck was alleviated. Have you ever had an experience like that where you're sharing something with them, help them understand something about their bodies that had pain, or psychologically fear or something they were holding on to?
I had somebody a while back when I was reading, they always had pain in their left foot, and they didn't know why, and they kept on seeing a doctor, and the doctor said, "We don't know what it is." Well, I knew what it was. They were shot in the foot when they were back in the 1600s, and there was a ball about this small, and I saw the ball, and I said, "That's what happened to you." And she said, "Well, it's been bothering me off and on since I got out of high school. And I felt pain every once in a while when I was a kid, but then it got progressively worse." And she said that she went to get acupuncture. That's helped out a little bit. And she said, but the pain is still there. And she asked me, what should I do? I said, well, you can always meditate on it. I'll send love and light to you. I'll call my medical intuitives, and I can get you better within the next, it's going to take about 6 months to a year before it all disappeared. She came back to me and she said it's basically gone. And,
So her
and
awareness, and then you
yeah,
and her directing energy
yeah,
to that area
hmm,
alleviated the pain spiritually,
yeah, uh-huh.
essentially, that she was feeling.
It happens. It doesn't happen too often, but it happens sometimes. And sometimes I get like these headaches. I say, well, you're underneath a lot of pressure, and you've been having those headaches for years, and they come and go, and sometimes they stay there. It's not really a migraine. It's like you've been hitting the head too many times. And I've had that happen maybe once or twice before. And it's like you get this pain out of your head, you feel better. And then that was a client of mine that I knew years ago that I remember, and we became friends. I haven't seen her in a long time, and it took about 6 months before the pain disappears.
So why was she being hit in the head? Was that from being in a violent situation?
Yeah, I was going back to her past lives. She was married one time. I think she was abused too when she was a kid too. And when she got older, she was abused by a boyfriend, if I'm not mistaken. That was about 12 years ago.
So that pattern of abuse had
Yeah.
traveled with her into this life.
And I helped her out. It took about 6 months to get this pain out of her head, but the pain finally disappeared. You have to believe in yourself.
You have to believe you have the power
Yeah,
to heal yourself. And then is it like you're healing energetic
yeah.
layers?
And lights too. Energetic layers, just layers upon layers upon layers upon layers. And that's gone back by so many past lives that you just take one layer off at a time, or take you can do maybe 3 or 4 layers at one time. But if you take more than that, sometimes it might be too much. When you take off one layer at a time, that might be too much too. So you might have to take a half a layer off, and then just keep on taking layers and layers and layers until you know the person's fine. And that's gone by so many past lives.
So those layers build up over the lifetimes that
Yeah.
people have lived where they've experienced trauma and pain and just
And
very uncomfortable, if not tragic things.
it could go back thousands and thousands of years. And you can see it happening, but I get flashes of lights, and sometimes I get a big flashlight where I can see it. It's like a movie almost.
I understand how mediumship and the psychic abilities can help you guide your clients. Who do you think can be helped by either seeing someone like you who's able to see their past lives or having a regression done?
Someone that can show them where we're from. They have a path. The path is trying to get through their past lives and find out where it starts and find out where it ends. And when it ends, that's when you're better.
Can you see when someone is at their last lifetime?
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that a few times. It's time to spread their wings. I said, when you spread your wings, you're ready to be who you are.
What do you tell people who are scared to die?
It's peaceful. Just ask the angels and guides and your light to make sure that they're ready to go. I just want peace in my life. I see earth angels are a person who just passed away and no one sees it, and no one sees that you're an earth angel that just passed away. The only person that can see an earth angel, people who see spirits, and that's a spirit because it's an earth angel.
What is the earth angel's purpose?
It's time for them to leave the earth, and when they pass over, the big bright light comes up and takes them over to where they're going to be angels. I can see earth angels, and when someone passes over, I can just see their light.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
Do you think that we reincarnate because we have lessons to learn?
yeah, You might come back as a dog or a cat or any kind of animal or a person, or you might come back down as an alien dressed up as a person. And we have so many past lives that you keep on reincarnated until the time is right that you reincarnate no more. And that could be like 1,000 years down the road. It could be 100 years down the road.
I know you have to see these people because, especially within the last 10 years, a lot of people don't want to live anymore. They have ideas of suicide, they have
Mhm.
ideas of checking out. What do you say to someone who thinks or you feel that they're that depressed, that they're ready to even take their own lives?
I just try to tell them that there's so much of you to learn about yourself that you can't leave so early because it's not your time. And when you leave before your time, sometimes you come right back.
Interesting. Our time is almost finished. I have
Yeah.
one last question for you.
Okay.
How many people have you seen who swear? You told me that I could have been Queen Victoria, right?
Yeah.
How many people do you see that believes they have been someone famous?
40 people, maybe even 50, that you were somebody famous. Or I can tell them that they look like General Grant, and they look at the page, they look at General Grant, and they see the resemblance sometimes.
There's a million people who believe that they have been Cleopatra, or
Mhm.
they have been Queen Elizabeth, or they have been Martha Washington, or whomever. And can we all have been these people? Maybe we can all be aspects of these people. I don't know.
Maybe, yeah. That's another good question.
I will say this: what you don't know about me is that I have been enamored with Victorian era England and Europe
I knew it.
all my life.
I
All my
knew it.
life.
I
Yeah.
knew that for
I
some
have
reason.
watched every PBS, every documentary, every movie, and it doesn't matter. I like learning about Henry VIII, but there is something about the Victorian era that I am absolutely drawn to. And it's one of the reasons why Cape May, New Jersey is one of my favorite places in the whole world,
No.
because it's all Victorian era buildings.
Oh,
And I feel that magic while I'm there.
that's, I thought that's what it was when I saw Queen Victoria, that you look like her a little bit. You look like her a lot. And I'm saying to myself, you know what? She's been in Victorian times so many times.
Yeah,
I mean,
so it could very well be that's why my attraction to that era is there, because I've been there before. There's definitely just a love and fascination I have with that era. And I even told my sister that I wanted to go on vacation where you could actually go to a place in England where you can live like you were in the Victorian era. And my sister said that sounded like way too much work and to count her out. So I'm gonna have to find somebody else who is interested in going to live like for a week. We could go without vacuum cleaners. Well, they did have electricity. It was just not super safe. But anyway, I'm dying to go experience a Victorian era lifetime with someone who also wants to experience it. They had to swim in wool swimsuits from their necks down to
wool
their feet.
swimsuit?
Yeah.
Wool swimsuits. I didn't know that.
Yeah. And the women had to wear dresses and try to swim in that. Yeah. And it was not an easy time period to live in. But I just want, for anybody who does not know what I look like, what Ed is referencing as me as Queen Victoria was before she was super old and super heavy.
Yeah, she was definitely overweight.
And I am not at this
No,
moment
you're
in
not.
time. Thank you so much for joining me.
You're welcome.
See you, my
Okay.
friend.
See you,
Bye,
my
Ed.
friend. Okay, bye
Bye
bye.
bye. This concludes this episode of Past Lives Cafe podcast with psychic medium Ed Simon. If you would like to contact Ed, this information will be in the show notes. If you or someone you know would like to discuss a past life experience on this podcast, please reach out to me at Chione at quantumjourneygo.com. The enchantment continues on the Mystical Mermaid Round podcast that I co host with Chloe Brown, a welcome space where we nourish the souls of all spiritual seekers. And remember, while we can't relive the past, together we can heal it. Thank you so much for listening. If you are interested in my services, visit me at www.quantumjourneygo.com or drop me a note at pastlivescafe.buzzsprout.com. Stay well and be present.